With all the love for the homeland, sometimes there is a desire to pack suitcases and go to a place where everything is different, different people, customs, social standards, and way of life in general. To feel not like a tourist, but like a local, to start a personal story from scratch, and if it works out well, to stay there forever. If thoughts of relocation persist and there is still no specific location in mind, it wouldn't hurt to explore a list of countries most hospitable to immigrants. Israel. Despite the current situation, we expect the conflict to be over as soon as possible. Without taking into account the current situation, this country warmly welcomes labor migrants, so we decided to include it in this list. A high standard of living, impeccable quality of healthcare, and invaluable cultural heritage are just some of the magnets attracting migrants to Israel. Those with Jewish roots can count on repatriation, while others will have to work extremely hard for their place in the country. And the working conditions are really tough, especially considering the hot climate. Foreigners can stay in the promised land for up to 90 days without a visa, but to obtain a residence permit, employment is necessary, and for that, a yearly work visa with the prior approval of the country's Ministry of Internal Affairs is required. With a valid employment contract with a local employer, the visa can be systematically renewed, and after 5 years, permanent residency can be obtained, but such luck is reserved for high-class specialists, preferably fluent in Hebrew. An official marriage to an Israeli citizen, registered anywhere in the world, is also a key to a residence permit, but strict checks for fictitiousness cannot be avoided. Elderly individuals whose children or spouses legally reside in the country can also join the family and, after 3 years, apply for permanent residency. Spain. Europe is one of the most understandable and convenient locations for relocation. A vivid example is Spain, enchanting with its architecture, nature, the aroma of delicious food, and the rhythms of passionate flamenco. You can open the Schengen and get to know Spain better, taste paella in Valencia, admire Gaudi's masterpieces in Catalonia, or attend a bullfight in Andalusia. And then move for good. The coveted residence permit is often sought by foreigners who speak Spanish and enroll in fee-paying departments of private universities certified by the Ministry of Education. Family ties also matter. Marriages with hot local residents or reunification with relatives are substantial reasons to stay. Official employment or registration of entrepreneurial activity, purchasing real estate for €500,000, having a passive income of €2,000 per month, or confirmed refugee status will also suffice. Germany. Germany is an epitome of stability and prosperity. A high standard is felt in everything: neat hotels, respectable beach and ski resorts, elegant landmarks. Surprisingly, why immigrants are easily admitted here, despite protests from Germans, the programs are increasing every year. It is easiest to move for ethnic Germans, as well as Jews and their family members. Local university students are granted a residence permit for the entire duration of their studies and an additional year for job hunting. Official employment also serves as a basis. Highly qualified professionals who are paid at least €55,000 per year receive a 4-year blue card and the opportunity to bring their spouses and children. Family reunification under the Residence Restoration Program is issued for 3 years, after which citizenship can be applied for. Another interesting option is au pair. A foreigner stays with a German family for a whole year, receives free food and €300 per week, and in return, helps with housework or children. Montenegro. The magnificent Montenegro is not yet part of the EU, so immigration rules here are less strict. However, this comes with a downside. Even with a residence permit, freely moving around the Schengen zone is not possible. If the love for carefree beach vacations, unique culture, and fascinating excursions is strong, it's time to gather documents. During the high season, foreigners can stay in Montenegro without a visa for up to 3 months, paying for registration and obtaining the so-called white card. Few come to study because the quality of education in the country is currently low. However, coming for an internship or practical experience is reasonable. One can apply for a residence permit on par with university students. Acquiring real estate allows for obtaining permanent residency after 5 years. Before getting a job, one must prove that locals are not interested in the same vacancy, so many immigrants start their own small businesses. However, for this, a thorough knowledge of legislation and acceptance of widespread, circular patronage are required. Australia. The modern history of Australia began with immigration, with people from the Old World gathering here since the 19th century. Although immigration policies are stricter now, there are still chances to move to the distant continent. Those who already have children, parents, spouses, or fiancés residing there are particularly fortunate. After an official engagement, brides are granted a 9-month visa, followed by permanent residency. Australian cities are consistently recognized as the most comfortable places to live year after year. For example, Melbourne has been proclaimed the best in the world for 5 consecutive years. It is possible to do without family ties, such as by enrolling in a university and coming on an educational visa. Moving for employment is sensible for teachers, caregivers, engineers, architects, nurses, and representatives of other in-demand professions aged 18 to 50 with proficiency in English, a recognized diploma, no criminal record, and no dangerous diseases. Business immigration programs are suitable for business owners, executives of large companies, and investors. Refugee status is granted with evidence of persecution in the home country, and after 2 years, it can be changed to a residence permit. Canada. Canada willingly opens its doors. Its vast territories are sparsely populated, leaving plenty of room. There are also numerous benefits, from decent social security and low unemployment to the possibility of visa-free travel almost worldwide. Moreover, the country itself has many beautiful and interesting places. The most popular method is family reunification. Canadian citizens can invite relatives from other countries, providing them with financial support. However, obtaining refugee status is challenging. Each province has its immigration programs. In Alberta, specialists from the oil industry, engineers, licensed plumbers, and electricians are welcomed, as well as graduates of local universities and farmers willing to invest at least $500,000 in business. Quebec, with its forests and power plants, awaits foreign students with professional training of at least 900 hours, investors with capital investments of at least $800,000 over the next 5 years, and professionals willing to work officially for at least 30 hours per week. In agricultural Manitoba, English-speaking foreigners with 2 years of full-time work experience and $10,000 in their accounts are encouraged to settle. USA. The American dream is a symbol, embodying the idea of a better life, success, prosperity, and freedom. The reality is not as cloudless. In the USA, there is a high crime rate, substantial taxes, expensive healthcare, and education. However, impeccable service quality, low unemployment, fair salaries, affordable housing, food, and financing, among other advantages, outweigh the drawbacks. Many think winning the green card is easy, but it's not. The odds are only 1 in 200, and document collection, from financial statements to diplomas and recommendations, is not to be underestimated. Under work visas, up to 65,000 people enter the USA annually, but an invitation is possible only if there are no American candidates for the job, and hiring a foreigner will not affect the working conditions of locals. Investors face an even more challenging path, as a minimum of $1 million must be invested in the U.S. economy. Refugee status can only be expected with substantial evidence of threat, and the family reunification process sometimes takes up to 12 years. However, practice confirms that American dreams tend to come true.